welcome back to my channel. In this week's video, oh, got a croaky voice there. Today we are working on an actual client. I had a rejig round with some clients during the week, and I'm doing my mother-in-law's nails. So we're going to do an infill on her today. Her nails have grown out. This is about 2 weeks worth of growth, maybe 2 and a bit weeks, about 2.5 weeks at max probably. And she has this black magnetic almondy gel polish set on, and we are just going to remove this. So I've included my removal and my prep process when I'm working on an actual client. I just thought it might be useful for you guys. Obviously, if you don't want to watch it, then please do feel free to fast forward further into the video, because this set we're switching it out with a lilac-y floral pretty set basically. So I'm using I think it's a cone bit. It's like it's a medium to coarse grit e-file bit, just to remove all of the gel polish off of the nail and debulk it slightly. I am e-file trained, but one thing that I like to do is, even though I know the pressure that I'm applying, I like to every now and then I'll put my thumb, one, to remove any dust that's there, but also to feel whether the nail is feeling slightly warm or hot. With these carbide metal e-file bits, they do get quite warm, and I'm doing a lot of removal here, so I just want to make sure that the client isn't going to be feeling anything on her nail. You might find that some clients turn around and say, oh no, it feels fine, because they're a bit too afraid to say no, that might be a bit warm or whatever it is. So I like to just keep an eye on it myself, and I am not afraid to move my client's hand around to whatever position I need to do. It may look like I'm pulling them about a little bit aggressively in this video. I'm not. Mother-in-law is used to me doing her nails. I've been doing them for a while now, and I pull her about into whatever position I needed to be in. It just makes it so much easier for me. I'm using my dust extractor because it saves so much dust getting into the air, breathing it in and getting everywhere. This is from Nail Chemie. I have a link to that video somewhere here because I've done a tutorial on it. I switch out that e-file bit for a smaller one. Now I use this one to get rid of any of that little black gel polish down the sidewalls, and then remove any lifting. I've got my application and my prep game down pretty spot on, so I get very, very minimal lifting, especially on the client today. We kind of worked out what works best for her. She has a job where she does a lot of typing, so it's normally the ends of her nails, the tips, that are a little bit misshapen and occasionally slightly chipped, but nothing too major. So I'm just going to go in and finish up removing all of this gel polish and any little bits of lifting. I'm only showing you what I do on one hand, but everything I do on one hand I replicate on the other, and when I'm doing my gel polish, one hand's in the lamp curing, I work on the other one just to save time, and we don't want to waste any time basically. It speeds up the process of it slightly, and I'm just going to make sure that I'm repeating every step appropriately on either hand. Once I've removed everything, I'm going in with my Katie Barnes double-ended cuticle pusher. This has a really nice shape, like hoof side. I do find it is a bit harder on flatter nails, so that's just something to bear in mind. And then I go in with the knife side, which is super sharp but gets everything out of those sidewalls. And I do this on all of the nails. I do find that the hoof side fits the cuticle shape perfectly. But yeah, occasionally I do find it's not as easy on someone that has a slightly flatter nail bed. But it's my all-time favourite tool. It's the one that I reach to every time I do my natural nail prep, on whether it be gel extensions, acrylic extensions, or builder gel polish. So I'm just going to go in and do this on all of the nails. Once that's done, I'm going in with my diamond, it's a diamond grit sort of e-file bit, just to run round those cuticles, and you can see it does pull up any excess little hidden bits that might be there, and it's a good exfoliator on any of those sidewall bits of skin that might be a little bit more stubborn. Just doing a little finger dance there, and we're just sort of checking how they're looking, and then I am going to give everything a really good dust off. I use a manicure brush with some cleanser and I scrub them. I will cleanse several times in my prep process just to make sure I am getting rid of any little dust and debris that might be in the nail plate. This client does occasionally have a habit of touching things, so it's just going to make sure we don't have any oils or anything on there. And then I'm going to go in with my all-time favourite ever tool, and it is my Katie Barnes curved cuticle scissors. These are amazing for removing any little excess bits that you might need. Now, I'm super careful that I don't cut any live tissue. I'm simply removing any little hangnails or excess cuticle that has sort of stuck up, that I know conditioning with cuticle oil won't soften and go back down. Once I've done that on any of the nails that need it, I take a quite a used sort of 180 grit file, and I just slightly etch the nail plate with it. I normally use a fine to medium sanding band, but I didn't bring them home with me. This heat has played havoc with doing nails recently, so we're just we're going to improvise slightly. But once I've cleansed again, I'm going in with my prep like dehydrator on the natural nail only. Then once I've done that on all 10 fingers, I go back into the first hand and I use my primer. And again, I put this on the natural nail only, making sure I try not to get any on the skin if I can help it. And this is just going to be the perfect base ready for us to start our acrylic application. Now, I filmed this last week when in the UK we were having a heat wave, and it reached nearly 37 degrees in some places. It was about 35 for me, and if I'm doing nails from home, I work in my cabin and it gets very, very, very hot in there. So I was finding that my acrylic beads were setting up near enough straight away. I will sometimes do a completely clear extension or a clear base, and other times I will use a cover colour, normally in quite a soft peach or nude neutral colour. I predominantly like to do clear bases just so I can keep an eye on the natural nail health. However, when I'm used to doing clients like Ben's mum here, I sort of know what to expect, and I will eventually do a full removal and build a new set out. So I'm just going to sort of let you watch me apply all of my acrylic basically. I was finding that with the heat my acrylic was setting up pretty much straight away, so I was doing quite wet beads and I was doing smaller ones, making sure to pat it and drag it out and make sure it was all nice and even. Once I'd done that again on all 10 fingers, I'm going in with a fine cone-like e-file bit. This is one that I got from Phoenix Glitter last year, and it is fabulous for going around that cuticle line, taking off a little bit of that bulk that might be on the top and just making sure it's a fairly even surface. I do finish file this with a hand file, but I just find this saves me a lot of time. If the nail is a little bit bulky at the tip, I just run it ever so slightly underneath that free edge, just to remove any of the bulk down. You could do it via the top of the nail. This is just my personal preference on the way I like to do it. I find going underneath can just make neaten out that C curve that we want for all of the strength and everything. Then we're just going to finish file it, and obviously when you add more product it adds bulk to the nail and you can lose your shape ever so slightly. Like I said, mother-in-law does a lot of typing at a computer, and I know, because I do exactly the same thing for my main job, it can misshape your nails slightly. So I just like to refile that shape in, and then I go over the whole nail completely, like I said, to finish file it. I get round that cuticle, and then I go down the sides and over the top of the nail to make sure I'm happy with it. Some nails needed a little bit more work just because I was struggling with the acrylic slightly, but we do get them into a gorgeous almond shape. We're going to give them another dust off, remove any of that dust that might be laying in those cuticles, and then I went on to paint a French, and I kept this bit in just to show you that it doesn't always go to plan. I like to, even when I'm filing, I like to turn the client's hand round and look at it from this point of view, because this is what the client sees, and the shape and smoothness on the nail might look perfect for me, but it could look slightly wrong for the client. So I liked it that when I'm filing, and also when I'm doing smile lines, I have a love-hate relationship with them. Sometimes I get on with them and they turn out fantastic. Other times, like today, I really struggled. I don't know whether it was a mix of the heat and, you know, it being a long day, or whether I just couldn't hack it. But we eventually get there with it, and we paint a lovely lilac smile line on 4 of these nails. And then we're going to have one nail purely purple with a floral foil design on it. We created this set to match a dress for a lovely ball that she was going to. And I wanted to keep it fairly simple. I didn't want to overload it. I thought these would be perfect for the summertime and also to match her dress. So it's on our ring fingers. We're going to go in with this lovely lilac-y colour. I cured that little finger as well, just because I didn't want to smudge it and ruin that smile line. But I'm going to do 2 coats of this lilac all over the nail. I like to work in thin coats, just so you're going to make sure it's going to cure properly, and you can then do extra coats should you need to build up the coverage and the intensity of it. And again, I do this on the other hand, as one hand is in the lamp, I'm always working on the other one. I decided I wanted to work the design as I was going, just because I didn't want any little bits of dust or any fluff to get onto it. So I'm going in with a foil gel on this nail all over, because we want a nice full coverage foil. We are using a fairly simple floral, but we just wanted it to, you know, be nice, basically. I couldn't even think of the word. I cure that in the lamp, and then I play around with the placement of it. Now, the foil didn't stick as nice as I would like, but it's not the end of the world, because it actually does look pretty good when I'm finished. I'm working slightly differently. I needed to make sure I could apply a nice bit of pressure and enough foil on there. I do go back in with the foil if I don't think there's enough on there, and then I just top coat it and I cure that in my lamp for 60 seconds. I then try a different attempt for my smile lines, and I thought maybe if I could apply it with a little brush from the bottle and then take a fine liner brush, I could perfect it. I was ready to pull my hair out at this point, and actually this method didn't work. Wait, this method did work pretty well. The heat has fried my brain. I'm gonna let you finish watching me do the rest of these smile lines, basically. Once that's done and I'm happy with them, I'm going to top coat these and cure them in my lamp. I want a lovely glossy finish on them, and I just think these are super pretty. It was one of those things where the design just came together how I wanted it, and she loved how they came out, and they matched her dress amazingly as well, which is exactly what we want. Once that's cured, I'm going in with a cuticle oil on all of her nails, and I apply quite a generous amount. All that dusting and the cleansing can dry them out quite a bit, and I give them a really good rub in, and I always rub under the nail to get that hypernicum and make sure that is nice and nourished as well. And I do the exact same thing on both hands. This is a lovely cherry almond scent. It smells exactly like cherry bakewells. It's just a little something that I'm sure you'll find out more about soon. Yeah, I'm going to give all of them a rub in, and then I rub it down the fingers a little bit just to make sure that the hands are nice and soft, and I take a lint-free wipe and I just rub over the nails, because when I take pictures I don't want there to be like a shiny glare from the oil. And here's the finished look. I really hope you guys like this week's video. Please do like and subscribe. Let me know what you want to see more of in the comment section, and I'll see you in the next one.